Rill is a code-based platform, which means when we make changes to a dashboard or to a metric definition, that change is going to be saved as code, and we publish that change to Rill Cloud by using Git version control. This is all going to be baked in pretty soon into the Rill application itself. But right now, the easiest way, if you're not already familiar with Git, is to use the GitHub Desktop application. So here we're going to walk through the process of publishing a change to Rill Cloud. So I have a project on screen. I'll put it in the UI mode to make it visual for the purposes of a tutorial. So we have a theme that is red here for the Spark lines, for the KPI numbers, and I want to publish that to Rill Cloud, where currently it's showing as green. So just this simple little change that I want to publish up. Now, if you haven't already, you should go to desktop.github.com. That will take you to this URL, and that will give you the option to install the GitHub Desktop application to your machine. So let's put this back on the Rill Cloud project, and let's take a look at GitHub Desktop. So when you're starting, you'll have an empty GitHub application, as it were. So you will need to either say that I'm doing something completely from scratch. So you would clone a repository down, clone down the Rill project you want to work on. But I've already started on my Rill project. So therefore, I want to add an existing repository from my local drive. So I just choose the project that I'm working on. So if, for instance, you've used the git clone command, which is the way we recommend getting started, you will just need to add the existing repository into GitHub. And here is that repo, and it's automatically focusing in on the change that I've made. So we've taken out a line that says the primary color is green, and we're adding a line that says the primary color is red, and also we have the secondary colors being updated as well. Now, the appropriate way for most production environments is to not publish directly to the main branch, but to work in what we call development branches. So I'm going to create one of those. So it says current branch is main, but I can create a new branch. I'm going to say John-brand, because it's me working on the brand file, the theme.yaml. So I'm going to create that branch. If, like we've got here, you've already been making some changes and you forgot to change branch beforehand, which is fairly common, that's absolutely okay, because you only need to click the bring my changes to the new branch, and it will create the new branch, switch you into that branch, and also copy the changes across. So that is how I will tend to make changes. I will be working away in Rill, and then when it's time to publish, switch into GitHub Desktop and just make that switch and bring the changes across. So this has all been happening locally to my machine. So I need to publish this branch. So this is basically going to say, here's my work in progress that anyone else would be able to also bring down to their machine and look at. So you can collaborate without having to publish. And now that I've published the branch, I want to commit this change. Committing means maybe it's one change, maybe it's 7 files of change, but I want to group them all up into a change that I want in the history of the project. So I can commit the updating brand colors. And if I look here, so at the moment there's no changes. That means everything's been committed, but I can see the full history of what's happened on this project. So here's all the different commits that have been made through time. You can think of each one of these as saving another version of the project, and the little arrow there is telling me that this is committed, it's been saved to the history, but you haven't published it into the cloud yet. It's still just within your environment. And the only thing that you can move up to the cloud are those things that you have committed. So I've published the branch, so there's a place to do this change. I've committed the change locally, and now I need to publish this up. So if I'm on the Changes tab, there are no more changes for me to decide whether I'm going to keep or discard. They've all been committed. and it's saying, well, you've got no local changes left. Would you like to push changes to the original remote? That's called push origin. Would you like to publish it to the main repository? And by pushing that to the main repository, that's been pushed up to GitHub, where either other people can download it to their machines to work on, or we can say this is ready to be published as the production version of the application. That process of going from a development branch into the main publish branch is called a pull request. If you're familiar with Git, you can go straight to creating a pull request if you're comfortable. The full flow, though, would be to take the preview your pull request, and that's going to say, before we make the request to publish these changes into the production environment, do you want to essentially check the changes? So I get to double check here that yes, that green to red, that is the change I want to make. The able to merge is letting me know that there's no conflicts. What I have done isn't breaking any work that anybody else is working on. So that means I can safely create this pull request. It'll automatically navigate you to GitHub, and I can create the pull request from here. And I might put in a note such as following on from the brand meeting. Have updated the colors. And I can create that pull request. If you have a review process, this is the point at which you could add a reviewer into the system. And I'll show you both ways in this video. So we'll start off with a system that doesn't require approval. So I can just create this pull request. It's checking that it's all safe. I merge the pull request, confirm that merge. So that's the full process. You make the request and then you merge in the request. And normally that's two different people, but if you're keeping a streamlined system, maybe you're in early development, might not be necessary. So I can at the moment both make the request and approve that request, merge that request into the production environment. And if I go to my dashboard and refresh, I now have the spark lines and the KPI numbers showing up in red. So that's a file change that's been made. I committed it into a development branch, published that branch up to the main GitHub repository, raised the request to move that into the production environment, and in this case I had permissions to do that final step myself. So that's a full process of publishing a change. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a change to the GitHub repository to enforce pull requests. So I'll just make that in the background, and then we'll see that flow in action as well. Okay, so we now have a flow where I can't just approve my own changes. So let's make another change. I'm going to go into the brand file. Let's make another change. So the brand is now based on a blue color. So you can see things are now showing up in blue. And that's the change I want to promote. So again, if I flip to my GitHub environment, I've already got a development branch I'm working with, so that's okay. Update brand again. So I commit the change. I push that to the origin. So that's pushing it up to GitHub Cloud. And now, again, I can ask for this to be approved. So that's create a pull request. I'll just add in a reviewer here now. So I have demo me as an alternative user. So I've added in a reviewer to the process now, and I can create that pull request. Okay, now you can see I've got the red lights are up here. So I cannot just create and approve my own change. So I'm going to switch to a different profile where I'm a different user. And somebody else one, they will get something in their email about it, and also I see I have a pull request has come in. If I look at the update brand again, pull request, the real John has requested the demo John to review this pull request. I can see the current state, I can see the files that have changed and so on, and I can add my review. And that's done by a button on the right here. I might just comment, I might ask for changes to be made first. So this is the approvals process for pushing something out into production. In this case, I'm going to click approve and submit that review. We can see that change has been approved. There's no problems with making it happening, and I can complete the merge pull request, confirm that, and push that through. Now GitHub's actually very configurable, so there's various options you might have here. So for instance, I can automatically clean up the branch. I might have automated actions I want to take. I might require 2 people to review the change if I've got a mission critical deployment. All of those things are actually very configurable. But from the point of view of a developer making a change, it's essentially make the change, submit it with a pull request, and once that's approved, if we go back to our executive overview and refresh, I've got the change showing up, or the spark line now showing up as a blue color. So that is the process of using GitHub Desktop to publish out a change. If you happen to be familiar with Git, if you prefer to use the command line, that's all absolutely fine. So it's important to note that this is a standard Git version control process. There are no like strange exceptions here. There's nothing proprietary about it. So you'll be able to adapt this if necessary to your own internal company process for managing projects in Git.